Somebody to somebody to I hate Queen.
Test. That's what it looks like on the ghost shows when they're playing it back and they show, look, we got a disembodied voice. You know what that means? You're nuts. Okay, welcome to Talking Over Albums number...
You can host it.
37. But I always get everything wrong.
37, 38, whatever it takes.
Mm-hmm.
Got a new subscriber.
Yay!
Someone you know, apparently.
We've never been.
Tell her hi.
Shout out to Michelle.
Whoop, whoop.
Thanks for listening.
How do you feel about the tinkling of ice?
Thanks for agreeing to be bullied into subscribing to our little podcast.
You better listen to me.
We appreciate you.
Doesn't start till I say it starts.
Doesn't matter. He'll just edit it out.
I need like a pre-podcast nap.
So what are we doing? We're doing...
Prince, Batman soundtrack.
No.
Liar.
Queen.
Yes,
A
Queen.
Day at the Races.
I need some more vape.
Which came after...
Night at the Opera, Bohemian Rhapsody. It's like the weird little anemic brother to Night at the Opera, where I've only listened to it a couple times, but...
Is it like all the songs that didn't make it onto a Night at the Opera?
That's what it seems like. I haven't listened to it in quite a while, but...
Oh my god, I only know one of these songs.
It has Tie Your Mother Down, which is one of my favorite Queen songs, but I think that's kind of it.
Mm-hmm.
So in theory, it would have been cool if it had functioned as some kind of super awesome Queen double album, but I don't think this album's particularly good, but I'll give it another shot.
Do you think maybe you would have liked these songs better if they were interspersed with the... Like it was all... Like, is that what you mean? Like double album? Like
yeah.
You might like them better if they had all been on the same album.
Just kind of mix them in there, but like
just wondered.
Separately on its own. I had never thought of that. Like maybe, but I don't know. I was just thinking of it as like companion, like unofficial double album sort of companion piece thing. But
yes,
so,
if this album would have came out in the '80s, it would all the songs on A Day at the Races would
what
be...
happened to your carpet?
Louis.
How have I never noticed that before? That's
I don't know.
like the piss-stained end-all piss stains. Back to Queen.
All right, do an introduction.
And tell me the relationship. We were talking about the
Club Nouveau.
this album. No, we were talking about this album and the Night at the Opera.
Oh.
Is there a relationship between these two albums? Is there a theme here that we need to talk about?
No.
Oh, Night at the Opera, which we may eventually do, there's no real concept. It's just like, Queen was always theatrical, but they started interspersing like those kind of Paul McCartney, old-timey show meets rock type of songs. And I think they did the same in this one. So it's like, it's all kind of in the same like sphere of... So it's not a concept album, but they are companion pieces.
Wait, I think I have a way to describe it.
Similar album cover, similar sound to the albums. This one just doesn't really have any good songs on it besides Tie Your Mother Down.
This goes back to more like what their earlier albums sounded like. There isn't a Bohemian Rhapsody on there. There's no big overdone song on this one.
Isn't Somebody to Love on here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's on. Okay, so there's two songs I like. Yeah, but anyway, so this is our first decent Queen album.
We did Hot Space.
Yeah, you weren't involved in Hot Space.
Oh, right. I remember coming home at the end of that one.
Hot Space.
I want your body. It made you both want to shoot yourselves into space.
I want men.
Please light me on fire so that I am hot and shoot me into space so I don't have to listen to this anymore.
They all just felt like, I want man.
So this is good. It's like, so whatever audience is there, we're proving that we're not just grabbing at the turds. Because this is a... Okay, if you're comparing this to most of the music that's ever been made, it's really good. I'm just saying, comparatively to Queen, it's just like anemic.
As Queen albums go, it's not.
I use that adjective.
It's not jazz, and it's not the game.
Like, I use that adjective a lot, like anemic, but that really describes this album. It's very thin on material, but I wish it was good. Like, there's some albums like that where I just so wish that they were good. What was the other one we did where I was like, damn it, I wish this was a good album.
There's a U2 album that went that way.
Yeah, I think there's a few things like that where it's
one
like
of
The
those
White Stripes
mid-90s
album I was very disappointed in.
yeah.
That should have been
Mid-90s
better.
U2 albums can really disappoint you because you think they're better than they are. You go back and listen to them and are like, oh.
I take that back. It wasn't the
I
White
like them
Stripes. It
all.
was a Jack White album that I was very disappointed in. That should have been much better.
Blunderbuss.
Yeah,
Is that what the
I
one?
think sometimes a band
Is
can.
that what the recent one was?
I don't remember.
We're a
I've already
band.
lost
I just like to say Blunderbuss.
The one we did on this.
Yeah, the most recent one he put out.
That piece of.
Yeah, that should have been such a good album.
That was so weird. Like I read a lot of super divided reviews where there are people who are like steaming pile of shit, and then other people like, oh my, he's so brave. It's an artist like
Yeah.
blossoming into a new. He's tweaking into a whole new era.
Brave
like,
isn't good.
Like
I'm gonna figure out which episode it is.
No,
we
he's
can
not.
We can cross-reference to the episode we're talking about right now, if I can look it up fast enough.
it's like, yeah, that one song was cool. But then the rest of it is him noodling. It's like he's slapping his wiener against the keyboard or something. Okay, so
Well, Freddie Mercury is really
None of us
just
saw
entertaining.
yeah.
So it's like, I always wonder, they could have just been entertaining, right? I mean, they could have just been one of those bands from the 70s that were like, just entertaining. They had lots of crowds showing up to see them, but they wanted to put out good albums too. They could have just kept making the first couple of albums over and over again and made a whole decade out of it. But their albums are a lot more thought out, I think. Even when I was a kid, I knew I was listening to something different
Yeah.
than the usual rock music at the time. You know, they're called like hard rock as a genre when people want to identify them as something. And I always felt like they're very accessible in any, to anybody. They played poppy sounding stuff. They played stuff that sounded old fashioned. They did throwback things like you were talking about earlier. I like that, it's just like, I like an album where somebody just follows the way they think the song should go instead of, we need an album that every song sounds like it goes together. It's like, I get bored with albums like that, where all the songs kind of sound the same. That's just my thing.
There are other bands, like, okay, the Smiths, as much as I love them, or some other bands I can name, not at all comparing them, but like you can figure them out eventually. Like Genesis, you figure them out eventually. Mm-hmm. I don't mean that as a bad thing. It just becomes comforting. Like, okay, I've heard everything. I figured it out. Like Queen, to me, can't figure. Like Led Zeppelin, can figure them out. I get it, but
right.
Like Queen, they're one of those bands, and it's not like they have a hell of a lot more material than anyone else. But I still feel like you're always, discovering something, which is
right.
something I find interesting. And maybe it's because they're like in between genres. They're not really like Bowie or
Right,
Mark Bolan,
yeah.
and they're not prog rock.
I think that lends to what I was saying.
Yeah.
Just, even as a kid, I noticed that, that whole, oh, this song sounds like a country song. This song's, like this one's really hard, like with the guitars and everything. It's just like they followed.
Yeah.
Each song had its own identity. Like, I wonder if that was hard for some people to maybe enjoy because they're used to.
Yeah. And
I want an album of similarity.
Yeah, something we need to touch on quickly, and we probably should have done Night at the Opera first, but we're not. So.
Nope, we are unconventional motherfuckers.
That's right.
No, but from
Marching to our
like,
own drum right here.
Yeah, but from the behind the scenes stuff, it really seemed like with these two joint when did Night at the Opera come out? It was okay. So they're back-to-back years. So this whole motif they were going for was definitely Sgt. Pepper's inspired. It was the giant-haired dude, Brian May. Where he was citing like Paul McCartney stuff, like the more whimsical, old-timey throwback stuff, and that's what they were going for with this. And to me, it definitely has the same feel. Just this was Queen, like Night at the Opera was Queen's Sgt. Pepper's, and this was their
Yellow Submarine. Where are you going?
So that's all I'm saying. This is one of those albums that I really want to like.
You know what I think of, Chris?
Just
In Excess. Kick, and then...
Inxus.
What was that album after it? X? Remember that?
No.
With,
That's the most precious.
In the dark of night. Did you see how he's laying down to not touch your coat?
You need to take him to Sears before they close and get a nice portrait, official, like... Does any place still do that?
I can't believe he's awake.
Holy shit.
He played with me for 2 hours before he came over. He was like all over the place, and then I had to put a garbage bag in the garbage can liner, and he loves that. I've never seen him. If you ever wondered if he was a pity or not.
Don't move.
Are you sweet
Damn,
puppy?
so cute.
Are you posing for pictures?
Where's my camera?
Can I see your ears? Can you put your ears up? That's the cutest thing.
Will he freak out if I put the flash on?
No, he'll just look at you.
Sweet.
Cody's the one that does that.
Sweet six.
Yeah.
That's it. Pout.
He's very photogenic.
Strut, pout, put it out. I got a super awesome demon photo of your dog.
Who's my pretty boy?
Oh, what were we doing?
We're gonna listen to
podcast.
this. We're gonna do this Day at the Races thing. We keep getting sidetracked.
Well, I mean, it's not his fault. He's the cutest dog.
Oh, I was talking about...
he's the most photogenic dog we've ever had, really. Well, Cody could have been, but she wouldn't have, like, all you had was, like, this black blur.
She was having none of that.
Does anyone's... I was saying... I hadn't thought about this for years. Does any department store still do, like, portrait stuff?
I know they do the thing at the mall still. They still have the Santa you can get a picture with.
Is there anywhere you can get portraits? Like a family portrait?
Yeah. Well, actually, I know for a fact because they talk about it on that Bloomington Normal News thing. Every once in a while, somebody will be looking for portraits, and they'll be like, "Well, this person does them, but they don't have a studio."
Yeah, it's people who go
figure out where you want
to
to
some location.
No, I want the studio stuff.
Yeah, you want the
That was
cheesy
the
studio
best.
thing. Yeah.
Those are all the worst memories of my
Olin
childhood.
Mills. Remember when Olin Mills was still? And they kept like, I remember somebody that was working for them that came to Brewhouse all the time. And she was like the salesperson. And I was like, well, what does that involve? She's like calling people in the telephone book and seeing if they want to get their portrait taken. And I'm like, wow, you are cold calling for photography?
Did they realize that? Well, I understand consumer camera technology is rapidly caught up with like professional grade.
Right, but people
and yet
still want.
I take shitty pictures.
And that combined with the fact that like everyone over 30, their worst memory is having to go to like J.C. Penney or whatever.
Right.
Stand in front of some stupid thing
Right.
while your little brother is crying.
You reminded me of the
face
school
off.
pictures.
Oh my God,
Remember you go for the school pictures and you forgot to tell your mom, and then she'd be like, well, you're going on the retake day because that's completely ridiculous.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Queen.
Wow.
Queen. Listen, Queen. I thought of something.
Yeah,
Because tomorrow's Thanksgiving. People won't know that because this will be long after. But
Freddie Mercury was a turkey?
yeah, he was from Turkey.
He was a turkey.
His name was
You turkey.
Sisbom Baboosh. I don't remember what his name was. Doesn't matter. Names are just things. He wanted to be called Freddie Mercury. Do it.
What the hell is raticide?
That is a heartburn pill. You need a heartburn pill?
Used to.
And then you just stopped eating?
That was weird. I used to have like horrible heartburn when I was like in junior high. And then it went away. It's weird.
Most people call that a boner.
Alright, ready for this?
It's time for a day at the races.
I'm almost ready for more
He's
wine.
touching your stuff now.
Ready?
He's decided it's his now.
Subscriber 28, Michelle Hike.
Yeah.
And scene.
So you don't know Mia Ogden.
I do not.
Whatever.
Come on.
Let me save this. Thunder farts.
Jack White's new album, Thunder Farts.
He's even cuter.
On K-Tel and Rhino Records.
One day he's just gonna start wearing glasses. I mean,
Did you know Jack White makes more money than God now? Because he's the only one pressing vinyl albums in the United States.
like what they need to do. Like I understand it's a fairly expensive process, but like vinyls, like the stuff you use to make it isn't expensive. We need like a Walmart of vinyl pressing to come back. You think they could with like the super thin vinyl? Remember like the Bindi vinyl?
No, here's the thing they never did that I think is stupid. Why didn't they put CDs in a thing with the album art like they used to do? Why did they put the CDs in the little tiny things and stick them in those giant plastic ridiculous things? The albums lend themselves to not being stolen. So it was like, why couldn't you have that great album art and stuff that you just lost as soon as CDs came out?
Wait, you're saying they should put a tiny CD in a giant album art?
Well, use it as the packaging. And then if you liked it, you could keep it.
That's a good idea. I don't know where one would have.
Oh, you just you didn't grow up in the 70s when everybody pinned their album covers to their room and made that was their wallpaper.
Well, that's what gets difficult. Okay, we're having all these other discussions. Eventually, we get to the album. I don't give a
Day at the races.
Last thing I'm going to say is like this whole other problem of how do you make music?
I drank a whole nother drink and we haven't even listened to any of the album yet.
Like, how do you make money as an artist in an era where people aren't actually buying like a album or record? So you have to come up with all these crazy ideas. Like, I'm going to sell a tape anthology or 8-track. How do you put something on an 8-track? I'm going to pioneer that. Patent pending.
And that album was called Boarding House Reach.
Burn!
Oh. And you're welcome.
Sick burn.
All right, it's time for a refill.
Okay, so the last thing we'll talk about before that Claire Forlani Dewar's commercial where she's doing the fake Scottish accent and she's supposed to be like the mob mistress or something. She's like, are you ready to start taking yourself seriously? And then she cracks open the doors like, and then pours herself.
No one serious.
And then pours herself. Yeah.
I watched that commercial. I said, "You're no Alison Doody."
And she's like, she's sitting there on the couch. She's like, if you drink Dewar's, it comes with serious benefits. Like, ooh, I get to have sex with Claire Forlani if I drink Dewar's. Like, no, that's all you get.
Regret.
Yeah.
This isn't even a sip and drink. This is like it's like the Scottish version of pound it so you don't ever taste it. Get it down as fast as you can.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you drink enough, like any woman looks like Claire Forlani.
Oh. Now you're onto something. Don't tell all their secrets. They won't give us free samples.
Hashtag Dewar's goggles. Like, ew, you look like Claire Forlani.
Oh.
You sound like you have a Scottish accent. Comes with serious benefits.
Comes with serious benefits.
Sexy Scrooge McDuck.
How do you feel about haggis?
Yeah.
Then you won't mind Dewar's.
Do you like sheep, sphincter?
You're gonna love Dewar's White Label.
So this podcast is in memory of Uncle Dave because he's dead for all I'm concerned.
All right, here comes the show.
One day I'm gonna do like a traveling episode where I'll get
wearing Chris's scarf now.
I'll get like a rig,
It's so
like
cold
a mobile audio rig, and I'll just go through all of the like West Bloomington bars
with the fuzzy microphone.
Yeah,
thing?
like I'll start off at pub 1, like, have you seen Uncle Dave? And like, who? Okay. And then I'll go over.
Where's Uncle Dave?
Then A and P, and like, nope. And
it's like a documentary. Whatever happened
Crawford's.
to Uncle Dave?
Like, it's become a mystery. Everyone is like the faint whispers of, where is he gone? Oh, who cares? All right, here's Day at the Racer.
Doesn't know?
Tie Your Mother Down.
Okay, this is the song you think I know.
This is one of my favorite Queen songs, and I think this is the high point in the album, basically.
It's all downhill from here.
5 seconds in.
This song is the
Don't forget your haggis.
If you want to tie me down, you have to drink Dewar's, eat in a bit.
The White Label.
You should look that up.
They call it white label, like people choose that specifically.
Yeah, I mean,
oh no, I want the Doors white label.
I mean, Claire Forlani might be Scottish. I don't know, but
Give me that bottom of the barrel.
I'm pretty sure she's just English.
Give me that. You wouldn't feed your pig.
Feed it to your pig.
I got your pig right here.
Yeah, so I guess we can talk
Ooh,
about...
my pirate and my Scottish sounds the same.
I guess we can talk about, like...
here we go.
Queen's awesome meld of influences.
Queen knows how to do an intro.
It's all made to, like, be played live. I love how it feels like every time you listen to Queen, it's like, they were thinking about what this is going to sound like live.
Was that as incredible as you want it to be?
Yeah, I like this song.
No, I mean, seeing them live, was it as incredible as I want it to be?
I never got to see them live. I was too young.
Well, I mean, do you know whether they were...
Oh, yeah, everybody loved it.
No, I should have given you that because I never watched it. Queen at Wembley. Oh, yeah, they're great live.
Live Aid. That was the one that they're talking about in the movie.
Man.
That's the pinnacle of the movie or something.
I always liked when they did...
Tell your mother down. Tell your mother down.
I was like when they did Bohemian Rhapsody live. You could tell it was a technical challenge where they would just do a pre-recorded version of the "I see a little silhouette of a man." Like they would just play that in the background,
right
in between like the parts they could actually play.
Yeah, you'd have to be awfully tight to make that work.
Yeah, this song is the shit.
Yeah, they could have done something like Metallica did with the San Francisco Philharmonic when they did all their songs with an orchestra. It opens up a whole new idea of what your stuff could be.
All right, I take it back.
I'm going to pretend like I'm Brian May. I'm going to play the guitar with my fingers that I don't know how to...
He was impeccable. And I guess we should talk about the one guy...
Deacon?
The bass player, whatever his name is. That's always the most difficult thing to assess with a band, because the only bassist I can ever really remark on is Paul McCartney, because his bass playing was so integral to the songs.
You're going to say because I know his name and he was a bass player.
The way the songs are structured, he spackled in the holes, like he tied the songs together where, you know, a lot of bass players, they're just kind of keeping a general beat. But that being said, it's like maybe you shouldn't really notice them most of the time.
Of tonight.
Because like John Paul Jones, there's nothing really remarkable, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, he's...
This is one of those songs where you don't know the words to it, but you sing along to it anyway when you're driving in your car, and you're just like, time on the basket, chicken! There's a lot of songs like that. I have no idea what the words are.
Half of everything that Elton John does.
That's kind of Queen with me. It's like a party that you can never get into type of thing. I don't know. The feeling I get is they're awesome, but
I always say like Van Halen albums. The first Van Halen albums were like you were at a party. It was like, that's a party I want to go to. And Queen is always like, that's a show I want to go to. Does that make sense? Like, oh, everything sounds so over the top and fun and...
Ooh.
I think the word's bombastic. I think
Fireball. Great.
Even when they play a slow song, you're just like, but it's had such high energy, you know?
I think they realized free music isn't a good model. Selling.
But you do get to listen to an entire album, so there's like
financial model.
Do we though? Because this is the third commercial. And we've gotten one song.
Yeah, I was super tempted. They have like 3 months basically free, and then $10 a month after that. So if you guys want to like float me,
Jesus, $10 a month is like
$5.
You could have HBO and Showtime for $10 a month. Talking over HBO. Okay. Oh, my sweet little lover boy. You take my breath away. I like the remastered ones, by the way, that they have on here. I will give them that. The sound is better. You can hear everything better. That was another problem with listening to albums. You don't realize you're missing a lot if you don't have really good stereo. Like,
this is already boring.
He's showing
I was
off
gonna
his,
say-
his ability to emote.
You don't,
again, I
you
had to
don't
throw
put
in
this
my
the
dad
second
again
song.
because Dave, his friend Dave, was deaf in one ear. So he bought really good stereo equipment. And he said that, like, if he listened to something really well produced, you know, like with a good amplifier and everything, that he could almost hear the stereo in one ear. Like his brain made up for it. And my dad was always like, I love hanging out with my friend Dave, but when he wants to listen to music, he listens to it loud. Because he's only got the one ear. But he had the greatest equipment, you know?
Okay, I have something to say about this song.
This is an absolutely
It's a really-
horrible second song.
It's a really hard turn from the
horrible
first song to this
second
one.
song.
But it's a really technical song.
It's
and
good.
It's really amazing.
It's good. It just
Also, I want to listen to it for Christmas all the time.
it's good. It just goes from
Can we
like
make this the new
it goes
Christmas
from
song?
balls to the wall rock to we're taking it way down.
Yeah, I mean it's everything you want in a really
Yeah, it's a
good,
good song.
orchestration. It's really good
Super.
arrangement.
Yeah.
It's the technical on that is,
Here's long
Mind-blowing.
away. But like
but man, it's a hard turn from that first
Oh.
song.
Yeah, that was
here's
weird.
long away. But like something I want to talk about is
We've done that before. We've talked about that before. About how some albums, they build you up on the first song, and then they gradually take you down to the ballad that they want everybody to
yeah, you gotta
play
do
in their
gradual though. You can't just drop it down to a snoozer in the second song. I think that's
Yeah.
I don't know who
Yeah, I mean, I
was
was
in
about
charge
ready to-
of ordering.
Maybe
this.
that was a bad idea.
A minute and a half into that second song, I was like, do we really need to do this whole album?
like yeah.
And 4 minutes into that song, I was like, okay, this is a great song.
Right.
But I had to get through the part where I was like, yeah.
I'm trying to listen to this as an album. And
No, but I think
you're messing with me.
But I think that's the problem with this is they didn't have any other hard rockers to put in that position. So
Yeah.
Yeah, did they give them all up to the album before? Because I noticed you guys mentioned before, they did Night at the Opera in 75. This is 76. There's another one in 77.
Right.
They were cranking them out.
I'm just saying, in like by the time the '80s come, they knew how to put an album together. It's like you need this really high energy song first, and then you need to bring it down, right?
Where's my laws?
Like, what's this one called?
Long
Away.
Long away. Oh, but something I want to talk about that always sounds. I don't want these anymore. Like things that fall into the glam rock category. Those sharp vocals. Something that's always impressed me, and I've never been able to figure it out, is like Queen's vocals in the band Sweet.
Okay.
If you ever listen to anything they've ever done, you sort of know what I'm talking about.
Remind me of something.
Like they did Little Willie.
Okay, yeah.
Fox on the Run.
Yeah. Okay, I'm with you.
They would have these really like incredible, like impeccable, sharp, shrieky harmony vocals, especially Sweet. Like I cannot figure out how they did it. Where they would hit these ungodly notes in these harmonies, and I'm just like, there's no way there's a man doing this unless he's just getting kicked in the nuts or something.
They're on acid.
Damn. I'm trying to think of the song specifically that I'm thinking of. Yeah, see, this is boring too. Sorry, Queen, love you, but like
That was like 70s rock to me.
This is not their finest material. What's this? Wait, what's their biggest hit? Sweet. Like Ballroom
This
Blitz.
album is already coming across to me as pretty self-indulgent.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, just whatever, do it.
I mean,
I know my dad liked it at the time, so it's like, you know, I always bring that up. In the moment, all the people that liked Queen went out and got this album, no problem. They were just like, yes, please.
All right, here's
Yes, Queen.
Millionaire Waltz after 5 commercials. Oh, here we go.
Oh, we got it.
So now we're getting into the, more conceptual.
This is more like a show tune.
Queen, as the band, they loved playing with all the tracks they had available to like overdub recordings and stuff, just like Led Zeppelin. Like that was what was great in the 70s, where they were just like going, oh my god, I can do this 24 times, I can do it 48 times, I can sing with myself. That's amazing. And it doesn't take any, you don't have to decide like what music is gonna play, like out of all these tracks.
Well, yeah, it's something like it's something you can totally take for granted now because you're just
you can overlay forever.
Yeah, like it's not even something you think about, but like if you put yourself back into the mindset of pre-digital days of music where you just have a limited set of things you can do, so you just kind of have to do mostly a live performance and then carefully overdub things.
302nd referral to the Beatles.
Yay!
When they
Filler Bell.
When they were learning to over
like
they would have to they would have
Not
4
you,
tracks,
but...
and so they would track over track over track and record like one track playing while they made a whole new one and stuff because they only had 4 tracks to work with. That's amazing.
I'm not filler belling you. This is already getting the filler bell. I haven't done this in a while. Yay! Where's the party popper?
Where's the party popper?
Oh, wait, you have a wine thing. I need your filler bell.
Cowbell.
The trick is you remove your earphones.
Sorry, Queen. I love you, but yeah.
This feels a little bit like it was left off of the Bohemian Rhapsody album.
But that's what I was saying a few minutes
This is the section
ago.
of Bohemian Rhapsody that they cut out.
Doesn't
He might
this
have nailed
feel
it.
self-indulgent? Like they said, I just want to do, you let me make this album and it worked.
I got this. I know what this song is. This is the middle portion of Bohemian Rhapsody that they cut out.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want it to be 10 minutes. They only wanted it to be 8 minutes. So these 2 minutes went onto this album.
No, and you might have nailed it before I even started, which is none of these are terrible songs. It's just they feel like they need to be in the middle of something. Like on their own, they would be okay. Like perfectly fine songs. It's just that, like, this album immediately loses me. Where you have like Tie Your Mother Down, which is one of their best songs ever, and then it just kind of goes into, I don't know.
Yeah. It feels like leftovers from A Night at the Opera, doesn't it? Okay, I mean, my favorite Queen album is Jazz. And I love that album from beginning to end. I will sit and listen to it. It's one of those albums that, for me, I love it.
I feel we need to challenge that by doing a Talking Over Albums Queen Jazz.
No,
everybody has an album that they like. That Jazz is the one that I think is great.
Where's Ziggy?
From beginning to end.
He decided to go to bed.
Like,
I'm so tempted to just spray myself in the face.
What's another one that I like?
Resist.
I have a bunch of them.
Mad Max Fury Road with Glade.
I'm vaping!
Oh my god, this is so boring. This is the Carole King of Queen albums.
It's not.
It's really doing awesome. That. What are you talking about?
You're really overusing that.
This is amazeballs. No, I'm just kidding. This is boring as hell.
but at least, like, okay, you have Somebody to Love and then Good Old Fashioned Lover Boy. Those are both good songs.
Yeah.
So it's not a total waste.
Yeah.
We should get Spuds McKenzie. Oh, there he is.
He always tries to go out the hole of the blanket. I chewed a hole in this for you.
Good God.
Albums. Like, he keeps talking about albums, and I'm like, well, let's listen to some good ones. Like, they're good. Like, I like Jazz. I like The Replacements' Let It Be. It's one of my favorite albums.
Well, we did, I would say one of my favorite albums of all time is George Michael Faith. And I feel like we were challenging that by doing it on the podcast. Because it was like, okay, we're going to listen to the whole thing, and I'm going to listen to it with other people's ears. Like, testing whether this is actually any good or if it's just me.
No, I like that one.
No, I thought we were all unanimous on...
Oh, we were, but when we started that podcast, I was very concerned that you guys were just going to be like, God, Chris, you're just such a fag hag.
No, George Michael transcends that. Well...
Can I drink some... Ooh, it'd be awesome.
I think jazz might be really good.
Vodka.
I think we should... What? I don't want to help you do that.
Because I had a great idea for, like,
No. They're never great ideas.
For like Dirty Spaniard 2.0. We should do a Dirty Spaniard episode.
Mm-mm.
We should
And then
do a
listen to
Dirty
some
Spaniard
Julio Iglesias.
Mm-mm. I think I'd do better dropping acid and just seeing what happened.
Alright, so we can already start talking about the end of this. This album's already over.
No, the next song is really good.
Yeah, it is. But, like, these songs are fantastic.
If you weren't expecting so much better.
Okay, so... Well, I wasn't really, because I've heard this, but...
I feel like, okay, here's the thing. Think about it this way. I just thought of something. Freddie Mercury, like these songs, I'm going to give him the credit. I know they all did it together. But a lot of these songs that are slower and stuff, does it feel a little bit like he should have been making Broadway musicals? Okay, it's like, damn! This guy, what he
Was
really,
that a smaller market
what he
in the
wanted to
70s?
do, I think what he wanted to do was have his own little Broadway musical as a traveling tour. Like, every song sounds very
that's what he
over the
actually
top.
did. I don't think
Like-
it's what he wanted to do. I think it's what he did.
I just mean it's over the top. Like, everything is so in your face.
I mean, it was wasn't it half traveling drag show, and
No, that was later.
everything about it was just
in the
over.
70s, it was more about the show, like the song, the music.
Okay.
And then in the 80s, it became more about putting on a show and putting on dance numbers and
So my question becomes: was Broadway a much smaller market at the time? That a much more exclusive club?
No, I just think he was... Nobody ever brought it up to him. It's like, you know what you probably want to do? You would probably love making a musical.
Call Michelle Hike.
Michelle.
I should call my sister and get her.
I love
see if she
the
wants to do
overlay
that.
of Brian May's guitars again.
A Skype
They're
episode?
still overlaying his guitars
Is she-
really cool.
Here's
If you listen,
just so you know, we're sponsored by Dissect, presented by Sonos, Spotify. Oh wait, no, that's not.
mm-mm.
It'd be cool if we got Vapo Rub. Here we go.
Anybody?
Okay, wait. I gotta get in on this. Just to tie it into my favorite other artist, George Michael is the one who sang this at the tribute to Queen or to Freddie Mercury.
The next song's called White Man.
Was it a tribute to Freddie Mercury?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was. In the middle of the AIDS epidemic.
Look at yourself in the mirror
and I cry. Yeah. I was telling him I really liked Christopher J. Wyman's idea of doing a Be Kind Rewind.
Somebody.
Where we just sort
Can
of
anybody
sing together.
find
Oh my god, that's so precious.
these
Look at his tiny little sleepy... He's dreaming of humping me.
He probably is.
Every day of my life. So I in my bones.
His eyes just opened
At
up
the
like
end,
Alien. Did you say
I
humping?
call my heart. is all
What are some other great pop gospel songs?
You better think.
They-
Think about what you're trying to do to me.
There are a
Preach.
lot. I'm just blanking out on them. Great song.
Yeah, we're just going to church
Every
right
day.
here. This is f***ing awesome.
I try.
So, okay.
But everybody wants to put me down.
Okay,
They
so-
say I'm crazy.
So I think the problem with this is they don't get weird enough. Every song is competent. Like, it's better than most stuff, but before this, there was still a harder rock element to it, and they were getting a little more sophisticated. But I think that those first 3 Queen albums, you could excuse the fact that there wasn't some sort of unifying concept. So like in this one, I think they're getting more musically sophisticated. It's just that it just doesn't go anywhere particularly high or low. It's
No,
I know, like you said, I feel like
here's the thing about this album that I'm picking out that I think is a compliment. This is a nice little hand between everything that came before it and everything that comes after it.
This song in particular also could have
know.
fit right in the middle of Bohemian
Like,
Rhapsody.
when the game came out, I liked Queen before the game.
these are all
But when
fine
that
songs.
album came out, I was just like,
They're still
this
super-
album is so f***ing good. I can't believe it. Body,
Me.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah. Somebody to I hate Queen. I hate Freddie Mercury, and I'm glad he's rotting in hell. Because he was having sex with men. That's against my religion.
He was enjoying it so much.
Isn't that like against everybody's religion? It's just this is how my dad tried to explain gay people to me.
So boring.
She used Elton John and Freddie Mercury, and he shows me the picture from one of the I can't remember which one it is, but they're like sitting there on the album before this, I believe, where they're all sitting there in dark.
White man.
And he's sitting there, and Freddie Mercury has got a pinky ring on, and he's like, you know what it means if a guy wears a pinky ring, right? What? No.
Dad, what
does that mean? And he's like, that means he likes other men. I'm like, what? Yeah, he likes to. He would rather be with other boys. And I was like,
why do you?
Well,
why
and
do you
here
know
I am,
this,
like,
Dad?
no, wait, here I am, like 8 years old, and I'm like, I like other boys. Should I get a pinky ring? No, you do not get a pinky ring. You don't understand. And then he started over again. And then he pulled out Elton John and was like, well, this guy likes to hang out with other guys and not women. I was like, I don't like hanging out with women. He's like, God damn it. You're pissing me off.
Then he sprayed Vapo Rub in your face.
Yeah, no, not really. But he just kept going on, and he was so mad because he was he was trying to explain gay to me. I really like these people, but I'm really against how they live their lives. And I was just, as a kid, going, I don't really care how they live their lives.
Because this is awesome.
Yeah.
Where's the discussion pen?
Have you ever heard?
That I already forgot
Have you ever heard another one bites the dust? God damn it!
Well, I already forgot him anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I'm sorry. That was exactly
my short-term
why
memory is shot.
Yeah, that was exactly why I brought the pen.
Yes.
Because sometimes you guys are talking and I don't want to interrupt, but then I forget my thought. Okay, wait. Let me listen to this song and decide if I like it.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. This album's boring.
It's so boring. We're talking about politics now. Look what you did.
The song wasn't bad, except that it's called White Man.
I like good old-fashioned Loverboy. Hold on, Christmas. It's the obligatory Christmas BMW ad.
Oh, Christ!
I killed my last.
Plus the commercials,
brain cell.
I tell you.
Oh, look at him. He's so precious. So precious.
Gil.
My dog is really cute.
Here's
Can
good
I
old-fashioned
air drop
Loverboy. This is a good song.
You go.
But I don't know where I was going with that. This is the last podcast episode, everyone.
It's the last one.
Thanks,
ever.
Michelle Hike and Mia Ogden.
Michelle.
I don't know, but I accidentally saw a Facebook post.
Everyone's on their phones now. Hold on, ready? Here comes my over-exaggeration of the night.
What?
Mm-hmm. Did you see masturbation?
This is worse than Hot Space.
Don't pull your pud while we're doing recordings of podcasts.
Look at him. Oh.
It's the cutest doggy.
This is worse than Hot Space. And I'm not even going to edit that out. And I can't believe I said it on this song because I love this song.
This is fun.
There's something severely f***ed up about this album.
Did you see when I tried to make Dick Cheney Batman?
Yes, it was beautiful.
He sent it to you.
It was beautiful.
Yes, I assume. Here's
Oh, there you go. You got your ears.
Drowse. Is that a word?
That sounds like a sleepy song.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're sponsored by McCormick Vodka. No flavor like home. Explore recipes. Shove some vodka into your turkey's bumhole.
Do you want chicken or lunch meat?
All right, here's Drowse. This sounds like what's the drummer's name? All right, research time.
Okay, what's this then?
The drummer's name. I always forget his name.
Oh, I forgot already. I had that all pulled up too.
Because on Night at the Opera, one of my favorite Queen songs ever, I'm in love with my car. Yeah, this is him. Is that something Taylor?
That was
I'm getting
is
there.
that on? What's it on?
Yeah, it's him singing on this one. This song's boring as
This is Drowse.
yeah.
Roger Taylor.
Yeah, Roger Taylor.
This segment is being brought to you by Sprunt.
This is like one of the more weirder episodes we've done, like just like album wise, because
This is a fine album.
like
it's fine.
there's just like a level of like high competence,
Yes.
and there's 3 just spikes in it, basically. Good old fashioned Lover Boy, Somebody to Love, and Tie Your Mother Down, and that's
And
it.
I'm gonna disagree with you on which one of those is the best.
Where
Somebody
did
to
this
Love
go?
is awesome.
Yeah.
It blows Tie Your Mother Down out of the water. I'm sorry. Now
Tie Your Mother Down is an all-around rock song.
So there,
I don't care. It's not as good. Fight me.
I'm gonna filler bell myself.
All right, hold on. Oh, that's not it either. I'm listening.
All right, I'm the only person in this podcast, and
No, I'm listening.
boring.
Right here.
Boring can be competent,
Right here.
and I am.
Why are you not listening? I'm right here.
In no way, shape, or form am I saying this is a bad album. It's competent. It just doesn't go anywhere.
It's got no direction.
It has 3 really good Queen songs, and none of it hits rock bottom. But the overall effect of it, when you do enough of these podcasts, you start to get like a sense of a flow, or of like the overall effect of an album, where it's kind of like a movie, a little bit. And
There's like a beginning, middle, and end. There's a conflict somewhere in there.
and sometimes you get like a greatest hits album, which is just like, here's the best scenes from the movies we did. Yeah, whatever. No one cares. Thanks, Mia Ogden.
Whoever you are.
No, no. This is actually worse than the previous times I listened to it. It's competent though, so I'm not really sure how to.
All right, I'm going with. This is one of those. This song
we're
is just
landing
like
the plane.
This song is just like the second song in that it's very technically really good, very difficult. It's clearly very difficult, and it's it's quality song, but there's no there with this album,
Well, he's making a burrito, but you can tell they're just not like all headed in any particular direction at the same time. And that's what I get with this album, is there's no specific goal. It's just like there's no accumulative effect to this album.
My opinion of this particular song is declining rapidly.
No, we've been talking about it the whole time.
There's nothing bad on this
This feels like
album.
a bunch of shit that was left over from A Night at the Opera. They basically told you that when they called it A Day of the Races.
It's gone back to the...
I give it a 3 out of...
whatever.
3 out of
Why is there a rock?
I give it a 3 tortillas out of 1 sour cream.
Night at the Opera had a specific direction and nailed it.
You are not giving this a rating by saying that. What's your rating?
Oh,
I demand a rating.
6.5.
Futons.
6.5.
All right, I give this 72% of Night of the Opera.
This is the first time
except for Somebody to Love, which gets 100%.
This is the first time you've ever given anything a larger rating than I have. And I know this because I edit every podcast.
Oh, by the way, my mom is
I call
here.
this 72% as
What's
good
your
as
rating?
Night at the Opera.
My mom is here. She didn't bother to tell anybody.
Oh, no.
No, we knew she was coming today.
Land the plane.
It's very unusual that we knew she was coming today but she told us like 6 weeks ago. It was like a goddamn miracle.
Wait, she's here now?
She's not
Get
here.
her on the podcast. Give us your rating.
Chris worked 9 hours on
did.
her short 6-hour day. They can all piss off.
You got 3 tortillas out of 1.
All right, bye.
Bye, Michelle. Happy Thanksgiving.
Have.
Oh, wait. This is for Nancy. No humping.
Oh, yeah, Nancy.
I didn't have to yell that
Unless
once
you
today.
recruit us more listeners, we're never doing Aerosmith.
Queen.
Wow.
Queen. Listen, Queen.
I had to get through the part where I was like, yeah.